Are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves? Is Australia being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves? Explore the forces shaping how we think, what we believe, and how we respond. Introduction. Are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves is a question many Australians quietly ask. We sense the shift. Conversations feel more heated yet less informed. Ideas spread faster yet seem thinner. Opinions are louder yet often repeat the same pre-shaped positions. A 2024 study by the University of Canberra, UC, together with Western Sydney University, QUT, and RMIT University, found that only 3% of adult participants demonstrated developed ability to identify misinformation in a 4-item test correctly. 45% showed no ability, and 52% only emerging ability. This challenge is not due to a lack of intelligence. It is the result of systems designed to capture attention, influence perception, and simplify complex issues into emotional triggers. Statistic box. 52% of Australians get news primarily from social media. 3 corporations control most of the news reach in Australia. Attention spans have reduced by half in 15 years. The core concern is simple. If media conditioning, political messaging, and technology shape what we believe, then independent thought becomes a luxury rather than the norm. So, what is driving this shift, and what does it mean for democracy, truth, and identity in Australia? The problem. Media and information gatekeepers. We ask, are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves because access to information no longer means access to truth? In Australia, media conditioning is influenced by the concentration of outlets and the dominance of platforms where algorithms decide what appears, not editors or communities. Editorial priorities shape traditional news. Engagement metrics shape digital feeds. Both influence what we see, but only one rewards outrage over accuracy. The ACCC Digital Platforms Inquiry highlighted the risk of a system in which data and engagement metrics influence the types of content people receive. This media conditioning creates a cycle where people engage with information because it is emotional, not because it is insightful. The more emotional the content, the more it spreads. The consequences of repetition and fear messaging. Critical thinking decline increases when repetition replaces reasoning. Slogans replace policy. Headlines replace context. Content designed to evoke fear is memorized faster and shared more widely than content intended to inform. Fear locks attention. Outrage keeps us scrolling. Humiliation keeps us silent. We become spectators rather than participants. We adopt positions rather than explore them. We defend brands rather than ideas. When we stop thinking deeply, democracy becomes a performance rather than a process. The impact. Everyday effects on thought and behavior. Media conditioning reshapes how we talk, think, debate, and even empathize. The attention economy pushes us to prefer short, reactive, and tribal content. Examples include: social media rewards conformity within group identity. Complex issues become simplified into winning or losing. People stop asking questions because questions take time. When critical thinking declines, spreads through society, decisions become easier to influence, votes become predictable, and opinions become product lines. Who benefits from a less critical population? If we ask, are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves? We must ask who receives help from that outcome. Corporations benefit when consumption is emotional rather than informed. Political operatives benefit when voters identify with narratives without analyzing outcomes. Media outlets benefit when controversy drives advertising revenue. This is not proof of a coordinated conspiracy. It is proof of a profitable structure. It is also proof that public money must support public purpose, especially in communication and education. The solution. Reform through dollar sovereignty and public purpose. Australia has full monetary sovereignty. That means our nation can choose to invest public money into services that build independent thinking, not discourage it. These include a world-class public broadcasting service, free and fully funded TAFE and university pathways, national critical thinking and media literacy education. Countries with monetary sovereignty have the capacity to invest in citizens to strengthen democracy and social cohesion. Internal link, monetary sovereignty. Policy solutions that break the conditioning cycle. Policy solutions can include funding for independent media, regulating algorithm transparency, teaching bias recognition and propaganda detection in schools, public interest journalism scholarships, content labeling for AI-manipulated media. These policies empower Australians to reclaim thought, not outsource it. A healthier democracy depends on a population that can question, analyse, and resist simple answers to complex problems. Frequently asked questions. Why are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves? Because systems reward attention, not accuracy, which reshapes how information is delivered. How does media conditioning work? Through repetition, emotional triggers, fear narratives, and algorithms that prioritize shareability. What causes critical thinking to decline? Reduced teaching of reasoning, digital distraction, information overload, and passive consumption. Final thoughts. Are we being conditioned to stop thinking for ourselves? Is not a rhetorical question. It is a challenge to reflect on how we engage with information in an era that values speed over depth and entertainment over truth. Independent thought is a skill, a muscle, a habit. Without practice, it weakens. With investment, it strengthens. What's your experience? Do you see examples of media conditioning or a decline in critical thinking in everyday conversations, education, or the news cycle? Share your insight in the comments. Call to action. We want to hear from you. Share your thoughts through our reader feedback form. Visit our testimonials page to see how others are engaging. Leave a comment below. Every voice helps shape future content. Explore more. Find more writing on political reform and Australia's dollar sovereignty at Social Justice Australia. Share this article. Articles like this only create change when they are shared. If it stays with one reader, the message stops. Sharing helps this message reach more Australians who want a fairer, more responsible society. Support independent journalism. Running this site costs around $2,000 a year, and reader donations have helped cover $807 so far. Every contribution helps keep this work online, accessible, and independent. If you find value in these articles, please consider supporting the site. Even a few dollars help. Donate now, one time or monthly. Already donated? A quick Google review helps others discover the site.